Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a breaking news video. First things first, guys, smash up the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And we thought the day would never come. It's dragged on and on and on, conversation after conversation, but finally, Jamie Gittens to Chelsea. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano confirming literally in the last 10 minutes or so that the deal has been agreed between Chelsea and Borussia Dortmund. Here we go. Deal agreed club to club. Contract until 2032. Death row settings. 7-year contract. Gittens always wanted to join Chelsea. Medical is going to take place tonight. Dortmund accepted the last bid. So medical will take place in America tonight, you would expect, given that both teams are out there in the Club World Cup. Obviously, Gittens can't feature in the Club World Cup for us, so there's not really a rush to get that medical done and that deal signed before any sort of July 3rd deadline for the knockout phases of the Club World Cup. The only concern that I would have, guys, is that in all the reports, Romano, Ben Jacobs, Kieran Gill, Fabrice Hawkins, there is zero mention of any transfer fee. Zero mention of a fee. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It probably means we've had our pants pulled down, like we do in most negotiations, but we're desperate. We've got to see what the final fee was. The most important part of the final fee, though, guys, is the base fee. How much of it's up front and how much of the fee is going to be made up in add-ons. I suspect that we are going to pay the 65 million euros that Borussia Dortmund wanted, but I wonder how much is going to be up front and how much is going to be in add-ons. That is going to be the key to whether we've got a decent deal for ourselves or not. But ultimately, we're desperate for wingers on the left-hand side. The market's not great. And so if we've had to overpay, which I think we probably have, then the game's the game, and you just got to take it on the chin and hope that Jamie Gittens proves to be value for money. Now, am I excited? It's not really got me on the edge of my seat, but it's another body in a position we're desperate for. You know, he's an absolute out-and-out left winger. He should fit well into Maresca's system, but like with a lot of the signings we make, he's going to need time and he's going to need patience. But potentially, and again, potentially is the big word here, you've got a situation where he could be cooking with the likes of Esteval, Kendry Paez, Cole Palmer for many years to come. But let's not get too carried away because there's a lot of ifs and buts between any of that actually happening. But finally, Jamie Gittens to Chelsea is done. Chelsea have got themselves a new left winger that they were looking for, the priority target. And let's wait and see what happens. He's going to have to wait until August to make his debut, probably in one of those friendlies against either Bayer Leverkusen or AC Milan at Stamford Bridge, and then could well make his full Chelsea debut in the opener against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge. Now, what does this mean in terms of the future for any of Chelsea's wide players? I don't really think it means an awful lot. Gittens, as I see it, is very much the replacement for Jadon Sancho, and the bare minimum expectation for Jamie Gittens next season is to do better and produce more output than what Jadon Sancho managed in the Premier League. Now, that shouldn't be particularly difficult, given Sancho had some good moments for us and some not, and you know, on the whole, he contributed a little bit, but he didn't really have the best outputs. I would be expecting Gittens, who should see significant minutes on that left-hand side, to improve on Jadon Sancho's output, and then we move it forward from there. But he's got all the skill set, the capabilities to be a top player. But my issue is that, again, it's a massive gamble. We're hoping that someone's going to become as good as we think they're going to be. But he's explosive. He's got great pace, great 1v1. Good crosser, good dribbler, got great shot accuracy, shot power, ball striking. All these things are good. 12 goals last season for Dortmund, 4 in the Champions League. He's got Champions League experience. He's got experience in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. But playing in the Bundesliga, as we know, is very, very different to playing in the Premier League. You know, we've seen the likes of Jadon Sancho and Nkunku, Werner, Havertz tear up the Bundesliga. But when it comes to the Premier League, they've all been very, very average, and they've all achieved a lot more than Gittens did in the Bundesliga. So I hope that Gittens is the one to break the Bundesliga curse for us in terms of signing attackers from Germany. But yeah, we're here. Finally, Jamie Gittens, welcome to Chelsea, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another Manchester City Academy player, straight out of the Chelsea textbook of transfers. Ex-Man City Academy, come on in. Come on in. There is always a place for you, my friends, at Stamford Bridge. So yeah, guys, I'd love to know your thoughts on a Jamie Gittens deal. Are you excited by it? Do you think it's a good deal? Should we be looking at higher caliber? For me personally, I think we should have been looking at higher caliber, although the left-wing market's not good. It just feels like with a lot of these targets, Gittens included, we're kind of just taking a sideways step. And when you look at the business that the likes of Liverpool are doing, the likes of Man City are doing, we're trying to close that gap. But ultimately, we're standing sideways and they're moving ahead of us. We're not closing the gap so far with the business that we're doing. I hope that we've got a few surprises up our sleeve to try and close that gap. But I feel like we are getting left behind by the top teams that we're trying to close the gap on. But only time will tell on that front. You want to be excited about a new signing. I am quite excited. It's always nice to see new players coming in, particularly in those attacking positions. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. But I'm not going to get carried away. I'm not going to put ridiculous, unrealistic expectations on the guy to hit the ground running from day one. My bare minimum expectation, give me more than what Jadon Sancho gave us, and then we can build from there. But yeah, Gittens' experience to a certain degree, you know, again, knows Joe Shields. I'm sure probably knows, I don't know if he knows Enzo Maresca or not, but he will know a lot of the lads who are at Chelsea right now. Another player for the English core, you've got Palmer, Reece James, Colwell, now Gittens into there. You know, you can look at Josh Achimpong, you know, Liam Delap. We are building a little bit of an English core at Chelsea. And I'm excited to see how these players develop. I would have liked to have seen someone more proven on the left-hand side come in. Maybe that still might happen in the remainder of the window, although I'm not 100% hopeful on that front. But yeah, let's wait and see what the final fee is. As I said, a concern that no one is mentioning it at this point in time, but the deal is agreed. And yeah, look, we're not accountants, we're not club financiers, but yeah, the fact that the final fee's not being reported is a little bit of a concern. And yeah, of course, Gittens has got holes in his game. We know that. But I'm sure there are issues that can be fixed with time, with the coaching at Chelsea. But it's also vitally important he's not our only left-wing signing, chat. We need to bring someone else in on the left wing. Someone else needs to come in on the left wing as well for Gittens to learn from. I think it would be doing him a bit of a disservice if we just only signed him and chucked him straight in on that left-hand side and expected him to perform from day one in some sort of sink or swim situation. But let's wait and see what happens. But Jamie Gittens is finally a Chelsea player, medical tonight in the US. The transfer saga is over. No more conversations with Borussia Dortmund about this deal. And yeah, another player on his way in, second signing after Liam Delap. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, guys. Up the Chelsea, smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you lot again in another one soon, and we're out. Love.